Hi, my name is Patrick O'Malley. I'm a composer, and myself and the violist Brett Douglas Deubner have a little short collaboration to share with you. I recently took an older piece of mine called Outlines, which was originally written for solo oboe, and I made a transcription of it for viola, which Brett has graciously recorded for us. And Brett asked me to speak a little bit about the piece as an introduction to the recording. So the piece was originally written for a friend of mine named Sarah Miniman for oboe back in 2015. And when I originally began writing Outlines, it happened that I had recently finished some more intense music for larger ensembles like orchestra and large chamber ensemble. And when my oboe friend came to me with this solo project, it felt like a very necessary breath of fresh air for me and a chance to write something that would be genuinely enjoyable for the musician to learn, enjoyable for the audience to listen to, as well as really just be about showcasing what a solo instrument can do. The piece is called Outlines because when I was writing it in each of the movements, I wanted to take ideas that could potentially grow into really big, epic, more significant pieces, but really treat them very concisely and really just do enough with each idea that it would create an enjoyable short little vignette and not grow into something too big. The reason for this was to keep the piece a practical length so that way it'd be easier for soloists to program or play at home. So the first movement is called a tune, and it is just that. And the violist will play a melody, and then the melody will repeat several times, each time a little bit different, a little bit varied, and each time getting a little bit lower in the viola's register until it finally hits the lowest note on the instrument, and then the movement simply ends. And it's just treating that melody in as many ways as it can be treated until the violist runs out of notes at the bottom of the range. The next two movements that Brett plays are called Away We and Parasparks. And these two movements I think of as little miniature scherzo movements. They're very athletic, they're very energetic, very fun, and very technical. Brett is called to play very fast scales, very fast arpeggios, play with ricochet bowing, and so you'll get to enjoy watching Brett's fingers fly up and down the fingerboard, and as he gets all these notes that I've asked him to play. They're meant to be fun. They're meant to be a little bit jokey in some places. So just showing the more uplifting and energetic side of the instrument. The final movement that Brett plays is called Lost Before Time, and it returns to the more melody-driven type of material from the first movement, but instead of it being a tune that has a beginning, middle, and end, and repeats. This time I wrote what I think of as kind of a stream of consciousness melody, which is a melody that is very long and very freeform, almost as if the instrument is a singer that is just singing an improvisation to itself. The movement was written around the time that the famous composer James Horner tragically passed away, and when that happened I felt the need to include some sort of tribute to him. So about 2/3 of the way through the piece there's a section called Epitaph, where I take a melody written in sort of what I think of as a James Horner style, and then I put the notes in the wrong octaves. So you hear Brett suddenly go from this very smooth singing quality to bouncing up and down the range of the viola, trying to get all these notes. And to me, it's kind of a broken melody. It's a way of expressing a little bit of sadness. And then after that section, he regains his singing quality and finishes off the piece with these very, very short, 1 bar a piece, little recaps of the previous movements. So I'm so glad that Brett and I are working on this project. We're going to be working on a bigger project very soon. I'm going to be beginning to compose a viola concerto for him over this summer, which will be premiered by the Fort Wayne Philharmonic when it's finished. Brett has premiered over 50 viola concertos at this point, so I'm very honored to be asked to contribute something to that impressive body of work. Thank you for listening to this introduction, and please enjoy Outlines for Viola, performed by Brett Douglas Deubner.